A very good evening. Welcome to Champions League Live here at LFS as we are here for the next two nights to decide our two finalists of this year's competition. It is Arsenal against Atletico Madrid in North London tonight at the Emirates. Arsenal and Atletico holding a 1-1 draw from the first leg in Madrid last week. Both scoring from penalties to score their only goals of the first leg. A tasty affair, a very close battle, but the Emirates is ready and awaiting a massive burst over the next 90 minutes to see if their team can get to the first Champions League final in 21 years. For Atletico Madrid, we know them. We've seen them over the last number of years under Diego Simeone getting to the latter stages of the Champions League. But can they reach the showpiece event once again under Simeone? We'll find out tonight It is going to be a huge game and a very, very intriguing fixture for this evening. The other semi-final is, of course, tomorrow night in Munich. Bayern Munich taking on Paris Saint-Germain. The reigning champions are 5-4 winners from the first leg. They certainly shared out the goals between them in that goal fest last week, and we will have beholden. We will enjoy the second leg tomorrow at 8 o'clock on LFS, and it is all building up to the 2026 Champions League final in Budapest on Saturday, the 30th of May, and we cannot wait for that. But who will be there? Will it be Arsenal, or will it be Atletico Madrid? Will it be Bayern Munich, or will the European champions have a chance to go back-to-back? That is what is in our way over the next 2 nights to see who will be able to get the job done, get over the line, and make their side a possible champion in Europe. Arsenal have never done it, and PSG done it for the very first time last year. So who knows? They could very much do it, but it would certainly be one hell of an outcome if they were. We cannot wait to find out. As the players in the tunnel, ready and waiting to go. It is all down to this tonight. It is all down to these next 90 minutes to see who out of these two teams can make the biggest game of the season. Arsenal came so close last time round, but ultimately knocked out at the semi-final stage by the eventual champions. Will they have another huge European outfit at the Emirates tonight? And can Arsenal get the job done this time? Can they get over the line? Or will Atletico be another stump in the road where they just can't surpass that? We'll find out tonight. It is all on show, and we cannot wait to deliver it for you. As the players emerge from the tunnel, that is our cue to give you the team news. And let's start with the home side tonight. Feel the atmosphere inside this stadium. It's absolutely electric. But here are the teams, starting with the home side in Arsenal. They're unchanged from their 3-0 win over Fulham at the weekend. A bold move from Mikel Arteta, but a 3-0 uncomfortable victory over Fulham. So they all retain their places. David Raya, who is on the verge of being the Golden Glove winner in the Premier League, he starts in goal, and of course could be the Golden Glove winner in the Champions League as well. A back four of Ben White, William Saliba, Gabriel. Ricardo Calafiori comes in at left back, of course, with Nkapie, who started last week in the Champions League. So Calafiori is in for the second successive start. It's a midfield two of Declan Rice and Miles Lewis-Skelly, who got his first Premier League start in midfield at the weekend. And it was that good a performance, Mikel Arteta said, why not do it in the Champions League as well? Lewis-Skelly in midfield. Eze, Saka and Trossard an unchanged attacking line with Victor Gyökeres, who scored from the penalty spot last week. He is up front. On the bench for the Gunners this evening, Kepa, Setford, Mosquera, Nkapie, Odegaard, Norgard, Madueke, Zubamendi, Dauman, Jesus, Martinelli and Havertz. Full strength, if you could ever ask for it, for Arsenal. Well, for Atletico Madrid, they made 11 changes at the weekend for their 2-0 win over Valencia from the team that played in the Champions League last week. A couple of little switches from last week's game. Oblak, of course, continues in goal. A back four of Pubil, Lenormand, Hanchko and Ruggieri. Lenormand comes in at centre-back. Pubil goes to right-back. Into midfield, Llorente, who started right back last week, he moves into midfield alongside Koke, the captain. The wingers stay the same, and Giuliano Simeone and Ademola Lookman, and a front two of Antoine Griezmann and Julian Alvarez. An interesting adjustment from Atletico Madrid, but they remain with that very well known 4-4-2. On the bench, Musso, Jimenez, Longley, Molina, Bonar, Diaz, Mendoza, Cardoso, Baina, Almada, Vargas and Sorlots. So, who will reach it? Who will get there? Well, here's a quick look at the two teams in combination and how they match up tonight. It is a very intriguing battle. No changes from the Gunners from the weekend. 11 changes Atleti made for their weekend's game, but a couple for this one tonight, and a few adjustments from Diego Simeone. It's all about tinkering at this stage. There's not much adjustment to be made, but the fine margins could make the difference. Who will reach the Champions League final? Is it Arsenal, or will it be Atletico Madrid? We'll find out. Kickoff at the Emirates is next. A very good evening. Thank you very much for joining us for this one here on LFS. Great to have your company for this one tonight. And what we are looking forward to, a huge game here under the lights at the Emirates. Two teams vying for a place in the Champions League final. What more do you want at this stage of the season than this? A true clash, a true battle, and only one can progress. We're underway as the visitors get us going. And Atletico Madrid in their away strip tonight are getting us underway. But you gotta say, Arsenal, right from the off, they made a really strong start against Fulham at the weekend. Really quick, aggressive start against Fulham at the weekend. And this crowd were up for it. They were in the game. They were really impacting the way Arsenal played at the weekend. The atmosphere was sensational. And the intensity right from the off from Arsenal on Saturday really did help to buoy up the crowd. As Atleti went a throw in on the far right side, but the crowd already rapturous with their atmosphere so far. It's been absolutely fantastic. They know how important this night is. They know how rare these nights are in European football. You don't get them every season. But when they come around, you have to take them. And you have to be there to snatch it. If you don't know when the next one will come around. Well, Arsenal, as we mentioned actually last week, they're into their second successive semi-final for the first time in their history. So it's a first time for Arsenal in this situation coming into this one. But certainly they're hoping that this time it goes a lot better than last season, in which they were knocked out at this stage by Paris Saint-Germain, the eventual winners. Here is William Saliba. Down the right to Bukayo Saka. He really lit up the Emirates field on Saturday, against Fulham. Really tore Fulham to pieces down that right-hand side. It's absolutely fantastic. The weekend, Bukayo Saka. Here's Declan Rice. Gabriel back to Ricardo Calafiori, who comes in at right back or at left back tonight for Arsenal. Piero Hincapié started against Atleti last week in Madrid, with Calafiori getting the nod this evening after his performance against Fulham at the weekends. And he played the second leg of the quarter-final against Sporting. Did Ricardo Calafiori. Down the left-hand side, Trossard trying to flick it on for the inside run of Calafiori, but that one goes out of play for an Atleti throw. The visitors know their job tonight. It's going to be tough for Diego Simeone, who's either washed that suit from last week or he's got quite a few in spare, because he's got that iconic all-black suit. Black shirt, black tie, black jacket, black trousers. I mean, it is iconic Diego Simeone attire for a big Champions League night. You know when that's on the show, you know it's going to be a big game. Right the way, our referee tonight, Daniel Siebert from Germany. He refereed Arsenal's 1-0 win over Sporting in the quarterfinals. And actually refereed Atleti's last trip to North London, a 3-2 Spurs win back in mid-March in the round of 16. There you have it. Maybe a bit of hoodoo, shall we say, from the German referee. Well, 4 minutes gone. Arsenal with the majority of the early ball, as you would expect, but what we kind of had last week was pretty much a fair game. I think a 1-1 score was probably a fair result, really, on the basis of things. I think Atleti might have stolen it in that second half, but you could also argue Arsenal could have been further in front in the first half. So I think it was a game of two halves in Madrid, and I think a fair result of a draw. But you got to say, Arsenal certainly the favourites, being the home side tonight, the Emirates, their home form this season. High in the groove they seem to be at home in the last couple of games. You kind of think it's a set-up for a great night for Arsenal. And that's why you always want the second leg at home. You can create the atmosphere, you can kind of apply that pressure to the visiting team in those key moments, and that can make a minuscules of difference. But certainly, in this type of atmosphere, in this type of moment in the season, a minuscules of difference can be the difference between getting to a final and not. That's what matters to Arsenal tonight. Here's Declan Rice. Trying to lay it off to Saka. He just holds off the challenge of Ruggieri there and feeds it back across to Gabriel. To Ebere Eze. A bit more central Arsenal all of a sudden. Eze lays it off to Miles Lewis-Skelly, who gets his second start in midfield in as many games. It's his 9th Champions League appearance of the season for Miles Lewis-Skelly. His first Champions League appearance since he came on against Leverkusen in the 2-0 win here, but he came on in the 90th minute, came on very late on in that game. This time he really had a meaningful part in an Arsenal game in the Champions League. Was their 3-2 win over Caoimhan on the final league phase game, where he started at left back that night for Miles Lewis-Skelly. Here's Declan Rice, chips one into the box, too close to Jan Oblak, but they felt there was a shove in the back of Calafiori there, the home crowd, but the German referee saw no issue. Didn't look like a foul, in my honest opinion. Welcome in, Brandy. Charlotte says, great commentary for the game yesterday. Was a great game. Excited to see what happens tonight, and have you comment on it at all? Well, I have to say thank you very much, Charlotte, for the comments there, but I think this one could go one of two ways, and I think it's more likely to go the latter way. I'll tell you in a second, because here's Alvarez. He's in behind, and it's sprung across. And the shot was deflected, or was struck wide by Julian Alvarez. Again, we see it here. It's Atleti. They win the second ball. It's Griezmann. Just flicks it over the top. It's a beautiful little run, and it's cut across to Julian Alvarez. Just strides onto it. And ultimately, in the end, struck it wide. But a nice move there from Atleti. But I think this game tonight, it could be either a repeat of last week, where it comes down to a penalty or a mistake that wins it, or it could come down to a moment of pure utter class and quality from one of these two teams. A wonderful solo goal, a beautiful team goal, something magical that could win it. I don't think there's much in this game. I think if Arsenal score early, then Atleti need to worry. But the longer it stays 0-0, obviously, the more confident Atletico Madrid will be that they can win this game tonight. And they're a team that know how to grind out results. But I think, on the balance of things, I do think it will still be fine margins, no matter what happens. Because no matter how much you have home advantage, there is very rare occasions in a Champions League semi-final that you find 2 or 3 or 4. Unless the other team do the same, like we saw with Bayern and PSG. But it's very rare that such a closely fought matchup goes to that type of level. I think tonight it will be very tight, very compact, both teams. They will both try and grind out the result. But also Arsenal, bit of freedom, bit of movement, bit of confidence. Be in the home side, be a bit more aggressive, as they tried a shot from long range there that was well off target. worth a hit on a night like this. You never know. Arsenal have that bit of freedom, but it's really interesting what way Diego Simeone will actually try and combat this, and that's why I'm really, really fascinated by what Atletico Madrid do this week, because in the first half against Arsenal, they were really, really sloppy, and they just didn't scare Arsenal. You know, you think of Atletico Madrid over the years gone by. They're a team that scare you. They're a team that you don't want to come up against because they always give you a good 90 minutes. They always make a real tough game of it. They're a fighting team. And Diego Simeone's made this team over the past decade a team that is really ugly to play against. It's hard to describe, but you think that they're all killers in that team. They will chase you down like they're demented, like they're possessed. As Llorente does well there, he goes down. He's going to win the free kick there, Marcus Llorente off Miles Lewis-Skelly. Good battle there by Llorente in the midfield, and Koke right onto the ear of the referee about that, as you would expect. Yeah, it's really strong from Marcus Llorente. And sometimes we actually forget Llorente is a midfielder. We see him so often in the defensive positions, but he can do a really good job in midfield. And he is in that position, it seems, tonight, as Diego Simeone barking instructions from the sideline to his players. Opportunity here. It is from long range. It is a long distance out. It's Alvarez and Griezmann that are over it. The two strikers. Will be a delivery surely from this range. They go actually short. And Griezmann breaking towards the box. Clips it round the back. Too much. And Calafiori is there to half clear. Only as far as Llorente. Down the right it comes. Here's Giuliano Simeone inside to Alvarez in the half space. Feeds it in behind for Antoine Griezmann, who cuts it across. Reyes spills it. And it's deflected wide off an Atleti player. And behind for the goal kick. But for a moment there, Atleti were in and looking dangerous. It's Alvarez here. He just finds that half space around the edge of the box. And as he squeezes it through to Antoine Griezmann, he just clips it back across. It comes off the right hand of Raya. And a fabulous block by Declan Rice. And then it bounces back off the Atleti player and behind for the goal kick. But body on the line there from Rice. But Arsenal, a little bit nervy there defensively. And Atleti carved through them beautifully. And bit of a warning sign for the Gunners. Early doors. Catholic says, loving the stream. And great as always. And who's your favourite to win it? Well, listen, we said last week, I said this night last week when we watched the PSG Bayern game, it was all the build-up of that tie, as whoever wins this tie will win the Champions League, because when it comes to it, pound for pound, those two teams would beat either of these two in a straight shootout. In terms of it came in the final to who would score the most goals, either PSG or Bayern would win out on that front, because they just have such unbelievable attacking quality. I would agree with that. I think I will stick to that, because I think whoever does win it, either PSG have a chance to go back-to-back, which is an unbelievable opportunity, or Bayern Munich have the chance to do it under Vincent Kompany and do a possible treble this season. So there's a lot on the line for those two teams. Atleti are in a great position. I mean, if they get through tonight, they'll have all the belief they can to go and complete the job. But Arsenal, they've also got it to do. So it's anybody's game. But I think from that other tie, as I said, if it comes down to who needs to score goals, and if you need a goal in a final, in a big moment, you put your house on PSG or Bayern Munich to have the attackers and threat there to win a game in that circumstance. Certainly indeed. But I would slightly edge it to PSG, but again, it could all come down to tomorrow night. Really, certainly. But I wouldn't count these two out. Certainly not. But I would hedge my bets on PSG. Just. That's a very diplomatic answer from me. I mentioned every team. I said every team has a chance and why they have a chance. But I've believed PSG have been that team where they've just seemed to go on that run. But they went on, if you remember, when they beat Liverpool in the penalties from the round of 16 last season, they just went on this run in the Champions League, and they just looked unstoppable. They were absolutely fantastic. And I think I remember watching the semi-final against Arsenal at the Parc des Princes last season, and they just showed up in that game. They had that air of confidence about them, and I kind of saw that last week at the Parc des Princes against Bayern. I mean, both teams defensively awful, but incredible attacking football. One of the best games we've seen all season. But certainly PSG have to be in a really positive position. If they go to Bayern and win tomorrow night or get a draw, I mean, it'll be anybody. I mean, good luck to either of these two teams if they face them in the final. Thanks for the question, Catholic. It's got us talking. Who do you think, everybody watching, who do you think is going to win the Champions League? Do you think one of these two teams will win it for the first time? It is a very big possibility. Arsenal kind of on the verge. They've been in and around fighting for it over the last few seasons, but Atleti have shown up out of the dark after a couple of seasons away. Good few seasons without a real ladder stage. They haven't reached the semi-finals since 2016-17, of course, before this, and they haven't been in the final since 2016, so it's been a long time coming for Atleti if they were to reach the final game of the Champions League season. As Koke wins a free kick there out of Ben White. 15 minutes gone. Atleti have had more of the shots, but Arsenal with all the possession so far. 69% from Arsenal, 31% for Atleti. Atleti have had 2 shots to Arsenal's 1. None of them on target. It's Trossard muscles Simeone and plays a lovely ball down the left for Gyökeres to chase away from Robin Lenormand. And Gyökeres trying to battle his way inside, and Robin Lenormand has to block him, but that's fabulously done by Victor Gyökeres, and he wins Arsenal a corner. Really well worked. I mean, Trossard, the fight to win it back in his own half, and then sealed that ball down the left channel. And ultimately going 1v1 past Robin Lenormand and getting the corner. Here come all the big ones. The 2 centre-backs. You got Calafiori in there. Gyökeres, of course, in the mix. Set piece has been the forte of Arsenal this season. But only be poetic, surely, to score from this sort of situation. Their first corner of the game. The referee's just having to talk to a couple of players, just add a bit of sense to the situation in the box there. So corner for Arsenal, left-hand side, Declan Rice to take. Swung in deep, high to the back post. Saka's all on his own. And he didn't get the contact right whatsoever there, Bukayo Saka. Just kind of cushioned it behind. See it here, it's a great ball by Declan Rice. Swung deep, Saka all on his own there at the back post. Had all the time and space he would have wanted. He just kind of catches this a little late. It just catches the underside of his boot and just kind of mishits it out for a goal kick. But if he caught that cleanly, it could have been dangerous, Saka. And on that occasion, he couldn't. Catholic says, would like to see Arsenal win. I liked them as a kid. Charlie says, PSG the most likely winners. It's always nice to see a new winner. We saw PSG do it last season after so many years, so many failed opportunities previously when they had all the top talent. I mean, when they had Messi, Neymar and Mbappe in that team, I mean it was unbelievable how they didn't win the Champions League with those 3. They got rid of them all. They created this mentality under Luis Enrique of we all fight for each other. And they've just gone on this unbelievable, incredible run in Europe over the last 2 seasons. Here's Leandro Trossard to William Saliba. Now Ben White. White measures a ball in behind. Saka's made the run, cuts it across, and somebody got ahead to it. I think it was Llorente. Brought down by Lewis Skelly, who recycles. Gabriel hits from range. That one skidded wide of the right post. Well, that all started with that lovely weighted through ball by Ben White. Saka made the run in behind Ruggieri. Little jink of space that opened up. Saka cut it back across, and it was half cleared by the Atleti midfielders. And as it dropped, Lewis Skelly caressed it onto Gabriel, who struck it well, but just had the spin on it at the last second. All Black was worried, and it just skipped wide of the right post. An applause for Mikel Arteta, the side's resolve there. We're just starting to grow into the game in an attacking sense, Arsenal, but that's a nice challenge by Koke in the middle. He's drifting forward here, finding Ademola Lookman, who couldn't carry the ball with him. And now space was emerging in behind, but that's closed out well. Here's Ruggieri. Plays back to Hansko, who gave away a penalty. Could have given away 2 penalties last week. He was bailed out on the second one. Rightfully so, in my opinion. I didn't think it was a penalty. It was being very harsh, but he did give away at least 1 penalty. Ruggieri going for the diagonal. Didn't get much diagonal on it. It was cut out by Gabriel. Picked up at the back by Pubil. Llorente. The Norman, and now across to Hansko. 20 minutes gone here at the Emirates. Arsenal 0, Atletico Madrid 0 in this Champions League semi-final second leg at the Emirates. 1-1 from the first leg, so winner on the night wins the tie. We're level after 90 minutes on the night, extra time, and then possibly penalties to decide our Champions League finalist. First of 2 Champions League finalists. As Ray said, he got the ball against Julian Alvarez, but the referee disagreed. So Atleti's free kick taken quickly. Pubil, nice step inside of Trossard, and he laid it across to his opposite full-back now in Ruggieri. Here's Lookman. Alvarez tried to play it down the line to Ruggieri, but played it much too narrow. Ben White was able to retrieve with ease, and Raya kicks along here towards Gyökeres, who held it up well, laid it off well, finds Eze. That's nicely done. Back to Gyökeres it goes, as Arsenal have numbers now up the field. Gyökeres running into Saka, doesn't want to give up the ball, Victor Gyökeres. And the referee's going to say that he was committed a foul. Got a bit greedy there, Victor Gyökeres, I have to say. He had the pass to Saka to lay it off and make a run, but he decided to try and run through his teammate. Ultimately ended up giving away the foul. Got a little bit too selfish there, Victor Gyökeres, in my opinion. He just lay the ball off wide, recycle it to Saka, make a run into the box and wait for a cross. Instead, he just tries to do Saka's job for him, and Koke, fabulous defending, wins the foul. Yano Black thumps it down the left channel. Oh, bounce that awkwardly sees out Ben White, and now here's Ademola Lookman. 1v1 against White, as Lookman got all tangled up with his feet there, and that's gone out for a goal kick. It's a couple of times Ademola Lookman's got down this left in the last 5 minutes, but he's struggled to really make an impact. Of course, played the reverse fixture last week. Has scored in 2 of his last 3 appearances for Atleti. Ademola Lookman against Real Sociedad in the Copa del Rey, and in the Copa del Rey final, and of course against Barcelona in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Didn't score in the reverse fixture, of course, last week. Here's Declan Rice. Antoine Griezmann in chase. Griezmann goes for the tackle, misses the challenge. Declan Rice at the byline, cuts it back in the cover, and Llorente puts it behind for the corner. But Rice was a man possessed. He was charging down that left-hand side. No one was stopping him. And as Griezmann tried, he missed. And Rice strode to the byline, looking for the little roll back to the edge of the box, to the 6-yard area, and deflected, put behind by Marcus Llorente for the corner. He riles up that crowd behind the goal in Arsenal colours, trying to add some extra atmosphere into the stadium. Doesn't really seem to need it at the minute, but it's been really electric first 24 minutes inside the stadium. Corner to Arsenal, taken short this time. Rice finding it out to Saka, who's gone central. Back out wide to Declan Rice. Now down the line is Eze. He fints it in behind. Lewis Skelly makes the run. He gets to the byline. He tries to go for goal. Right the way through the 6-yard box and out the other ends. With Arsenal on top now and pushing for the opener. Here's Saliba. Clips it to the back post. Too much pace on it from William Saliba. And that's out for a throw. Well, this reminds Lewis Skelly. Fabulous against Julian Alvarez. Holds him off really well. The strength is fabulous. And then the ability just to skip it in between a gap that between Coquet and Oblak that shouldn't have been. He shouldn't have found a way through there, but he did. And Mikel Arteta couldn't believe that he squeezed that space out. No one in the middle to find the finish, but what a beautiful move from Miles Lewis Skelly. Seems like Arsenal have just taken command of this game in the last couple of minutes. Atleti need to get on the ball and try and counteract that as Alamola Lookman went down a little easily in the referee's view. White down the channel looking for the run of Saka, but Oblak was onto that one quickly. He's going to kick this one long up the field again, but too much from Ademola Lookman to take down. Well, Arsenal remain unbeaten against Atletico in a UEFA Champions League game. Won 4-0 at the Emirates and drew 1-1 at the Metropolitano this season. Only 2 other managers have gone unbeaten in their first 3 games against Atletico boss Diego Simeone in the competition. They were Carlo Ancelotti and Maurizio Sarri, 3 each. He could match that record tonight, Mikel Arteta, if they remain unbeaten in the game. There was Skelly. Rice to Trossard. Inside there, Gyökeres couldn't hold it up that time as Griezmann intercepts and Koke spins out wide to the right. Pubil. Now Giuliano Simeone finding Griezmann in the pockets in midfield. Now Lookman. He's got the run of Ruggieri wide. Here is Ruggieri. Backwards to Hansko as Atleti trying to dominate the ball a bit here now. Control the possession for the moment. Llorente down the right channel. Nice little 1-2 with Pubil, but cleared away by Gabriel. Pubil trying to battle for it back, and he does wrestle in there to the ground as Calafiore goes down. That's going to be a free kick. Well, they are winless in their 2 games against Arsenal this season, Atleti. They last faced an opponent 3+ times in a single campaign without managing a victory in 22-23 when they played Real Madrid 3 times. They lost twice and drew once. The last time they did that. Pubil a little bit overzealous on Calafiore there. The Italian was ultimately unharmed, but painful. Albeit not much goal-mouth action. David Raya or Jan Oblak haven't been tested as of yet. 5 shots in the game, 3 for Arsenal, 2 for Atleti, but neither of the 2 sides have had a shot on target as of yet. Long throw down the line. Llorente controlled it well and he got the better of Calafiore, who slipped. Llorente swings one into the box looking for Lookman. A little over his head as Alvarez will stride out to the left to retrieve. Former Man City player, of course, Julian Alvarez. Well known to Arsenal. Lenormand. Simeone. Robin Lenormand. To David Hansko. Sherry. Here's Ademola Lookman. Decent play this from Atleti. Upping the ball around a little better now. Koke to Hansko. Now Ruggieri. Albeit they're passing the ball around but not getting very far with it as Ademola Lookman takes on a few and finds a little bit of space to recycle the ball, and it comes all the way back to Jan Oblak. Oh, who plays a risky ball. What a pass. It's hella dangerous, but Koke picked it up. What a risky ball by Jan Oblak. It worked out though. Simeone finds Griezmann. Now Llorente cuts back onto his left. Llorente blocked. Lookman couldn't take it in, and it looked like Llorente was offside. The flag goes up. Well, why did Griezmann not go for the shot himself here? See it here. It's Simeone off the right. Plays it across, and Griezmann, in all acres of space on the edge of the box, take it on your right foot, set it up for a shot. But he tries to play it through to Llorente. Llorente's just a half yard offside, but that was really nice play by Atleti. He says it's by that much of a margin, Llorente, but offside is offside. He's been a real major goal threat. I mentioned that last week about how he's been a major goal threat for Atleti this season. He scored 4 of his 9 Champions League goals in his career this season. So he's certainly been a major goal threat for the club. The most goals he scored in the Champions League in a single season. Rice out wide to Saliba, stretched it down the right channel. It comes, held up well by Gyökeres. He was battled with, and Diego Simeone's side out muscling Victor Gyökeres. They wanted a foul there, Arsenal, but the referee sees no issue, and Diego Simeone, like a conductor down there, I mean, he's literally trying to play football. He's trying to be the 12th player on the pitch for Atleti. He's that close to the touchline. I mean, he is kicking every ball with them. So you have to admire that. You have to really respect that. And I massively respect Diego Simeone at Atletico Madrid because, I mean, especially him as a head coach. The job he has done to transform that football club over the last decade or so. It's been absolutely sensational, Diego Simeone. Calafiori picked up the ball in a dangerous area, had to get rid of it quickly with the pressure. Saliba. Bodies forward here for Arsenal. Lewis Skelly. Gabriel out to the left it comes. Trossard. Back it comes to Gabriel now. Tiptoeing his way forward towards the area. Has to give it back to Lewis Skelly. Arsenal continue to recycle the possession. It comes out to Ben White on the right. Onto his left foot. Swings it in deep towards Calafiori, and he left it there. A little bit risky. Simeone. It's dropped for Calafiori. Now Gabriel. The deflection. Takes it up and into the hands of Jan Oblak. Punches or boots it long here. And Griezmann trying to ping one towards Alvarez. Nicely cut out by Saliba. Really strong defending. It's been really entertaining so far, albeit it's not been the goal fest, but it's been really intriguing, this battle early doors. Real good tactical battle between the two sides. Rice down the left. Trossard. Cuts it back to Gabriel. Now Eze. There's Skelly, back to Abere Eze. Then down the left channel comes Trossard, adding the width to this Arsenal attack. As he spins back on himself. Got Griezmann and Simeone for company. He beats both of them and goes for the little 1-2 with his man. He goes down in the box. Referee waves away a penalty claim. Arsenal keep going for the moment. Eze trying to find the little spaces. Rice! Shot deflected. That's going to be a corner. And we'll see what VAR has to say about this possible penalty. It's Griezmann on Trossard. There's nothing in it. No, not having it. Having absolutely none of that. It's not enough contact. I mean, Griezmann's just trying to get physical with him. It's not a foul. It's just not a foul. It's not a penalty. Check complete. So no penalty. The on-field decision will stand. Corner it will be to Arsenal then. See this shot from Rice that blocked by David Hansko. That was also being checked for a possible handball, but it came off his upper arm and it was by his side, so there was never a handball in that. Corner it is then to the Gunners. Last 10 minutes of the first half. Arsenal 0, Atleti 0. 1-1 on aggregates. Arsenal. This is their third corner of the game. First from the right-hand side, though. Saka to take. Goes short to Eze. Back to Saka, who's got a bit of space. Lays it off to Declan Rice. Blocked by Llorente and cleared away. Out for the throw-in on the left side. Well, he's getting into spaces, Rice. He's popping up in key areas. One of the candidates for player of the season in the Premier League. Declan Rice, someone claiming it could be footballer of the year. Could win all those big awards. Declan Rice. You know, he's a player that always gives a 7 and 8 out of 10 every week. Such consistency, Declan Rice, I have to say. Such incredible consistency. There's no doubt about that. Remember, he scored those 2 unbelievable free kicks against Real Madrid last season as well. Here, he popped up key moments for the Gunners in the Champions League last season. Scored once in the Champions League this season for Arsenal. It was against Leverkusen. Eze couldn't find a way through there. Too many bodies in the way, as that's going to be an Atleti free kick. They were on the breakaway there, and Koke was brought down by Calafiori. It's going to be a free kick. Diego Simeone not happy on the sidelines. Very animated, as you would expect. Yeah, Koke just laid the ball off to Antoine Griezmann. Went for the little 1-2, and as he was caught there late by Calafiori, and as Griezmann tried to return the ball, Koke just couldn't stay on his feet. Went down via the challenge. Free kick to Atletico Madrid. And a wasted opportunity that Diego Simeone is infuriated by. He's certainly not a man you would ever want to go up against. You certainly, if he says something, it's gospel. You're not going to argue with Diego Simeone. There's not a hope in hell that you would catch anybody with any sense going up against Diego Simeone. Not a chance. Managed Lewis Skelly around the corner to Trossard, who'd progressed down the left channel, is forced back into his own half here, though, the Belgian. And lays it off to William Saliba. Ayabere Eze holding off his man, but Saliba back across to Rice. Now Gabriel pings that long diagonal, looking for White's run. Ruggieri cuts it out, and Lookman takes it on the half turn. Beautiful first touch, but a poor pass. Couldn't find Llorente, and Gyökeres intercepts. Now Trossard, Gyökeres down the left. breaking onto his right foot. Closed off there by Griezmann. He still has the ball for the moment, Gyökeres. They challenge for it, Atleti, and they win the goal kick. And look at the celebrations from the Atleti players. And absolutely battling to the very death there to win a goal kick. Unbelievable. I mean, that's incredible. Giuliano Simeone and, I mean, Antoine Griezmann. This man's won a World Cup. And he's celebrating. He's just won it again there. That shows the passion in this Atleti team. I have to say, they have been really strong so far, Atleti. It's more what we expected to see of them last week. That industrious, hard to break down, really physical, tough team. It was just a little bit soft last week. A bit too easy to get at. Okay. He went for the first time ball over the top, but that one was, again, to no one on the end of. Well, certainly both sides have battled for possession, both sides have battled in and around both boxes, but hasn't been much attacking action in terms of the clear-cut opportunities for either team. Sherry trying to make a nuisance of himself there, but he had the last touch, so that's going to be an Arsenal throw-in. Well, there's no doubt these two are very animated, these two head coaches. I mean, Mikel Arteta's doing the crab walk up and down the sideline there, jumping about with his players. They certainly are two very animated characters. Spaniard and the Argentinian, of course. Well, of course, Diego Simeone, we know it very well, but this is his 15th season as the Atletico Madrid boss. It's 796th game in charge of the football club. It's been absolutely incredible what he's been able to achieve there over the last decade and a half. White, Eze, back to White, who couldn't find it through, and that's deflected back to Jan Black by an Atleti defender. Yeah, really nice 1-2 combination there. Beautiful play. And then Ruggieri just nipped in at the right time to deny the return ball to Eze. It's a bouncing ball in behind there. Simeone trying to cause problems, but the flag's going to go up against Giuliano Simeone. He fought to the death there to try and battle. Well, Giuliano Simeone was an unbelievably just 9 years old when his father Diego took charge of Atleti back in December 2011. He just celebrated his 9th birthday. He is now 23, playing under his father for the second season as a senior Atleti player, and has made 50 appearances. This is his 51st appearance for the club this season after he made 47 last season. I mean, what a rise. Giuliano Simeone. Many will say, oh, it's that whole nepotism. He's a nepo baby and all that type of stuff. He's only where he is because of who his dad is. But, I mean, he is a very good player. There's no doubt about that. But certainly it's another wonderful little story. I mean, if Atleti go on to do this, I mean, that will be just a really nice, intricate story to kind of bring into the Champions League. You know, we talked last season about Luis Enrique and his family and how important it was for him to win the competition. But, I mean, to do it as one of your sons playing for the football club you manage, I mean, that will be a real special little intricate story that comes with Atletico Madrid. Ben White. Down the right-hand side is Saka. Last 2 minutes of the first half. Still goalless here at the Emirates Stadium. 1-1 on aggregates. As tight as anything. Saka wrestled with, but he just about hung on for at least a half second to play the pass. Although the momentum taken out of the Arsenal attack with that ball from Saliba back to Gabriel. Andy says you do have a feeling one of these teams are the runner-ups. You never know, but they're not the force of tomorrow night's teams. Yeah, I agree. Again, the Champions League is a strange competition. Oh, Gyökeres's broken behind here. Oblak was coming there for the ball, but he's decided to step back as Gyökeres spins it across. Drops here for Trossard. Can he pick out a man or go for the shot? He goes for the shot. Saved by Oblak, but it's bundled over the line. They're claiming a foul, but it's Bukayo Saka that has forced it into the nets. And Arsenal take the lead right on the verge of half-time. And Atletico have been undone. Arsenal have been pushing the whole way through the half, but Atleti had been a real stubborn force in the way of the Gunners. Well, they have rocketed themselves in front. Frustration for Diego Simeone and his players. And a moment from Bukayo Saka. He lit it up on the Arsenal field 3 days ago. Well, he is lighting up this pitch again, and he is the man in the right place at the right time to fire Arsenal in front. But this, what a ball this is through the lines. Gyökeres, I mean, it all starts, Oblak comes to close down the ball, but Gyökeres so calm, so composed, waits for the right moment, spins it across. Trossard is patient, and as he strikes on with his right foot, it's a really good strike, really good save by Oblak. It's just unfortunate that he parries it back out into the path of Bukayo Saka, who is there waiting for the moment, waiting for the ball to spin, and that's what you call a poacher's finish. The right place, right time to pounce upon the rebounded ball, and Saka has Arsenal in front. Wonderful. Ball to play the pass to Gyökeres, the composure to play the ball to Trossard, the shot from Trossard, the save ultimately from Oblak, but ultimately forcing it home, Bukayo Saka. And Arsenal into one added minute at the end of the first half, almost over. And that is going to be a bit of a disheartener to the end of the first half for Atleti. But what a mood booster it is around the Emirates. It needed that moment before half-time. You kind of felt it was needed inside the stadium. They've been the better side, Arsenal, in attack. And now they have their advantage. Half-time whistle goes. And Arsenal are 45 minutes away from a first Champions League final in 21 years. And it is Bukayo Saka, the academy graduate who was just 3 years old when Arsenal were last in a Champions League final, has the goal that has Arsenal halfway to Budapest. Half-time, it's Arsenal 1, Atletico Madrid 0. 2-1 to Arsenal on aggregates.
Remember, you don't get it twice, the time of your life.
Welcome back to Champions League Live. Half-time, it is Arsenal 1, Atletico Madrid 0 in this second leg of the Champions League semi-finals. It is 2-1 on aggregate, 1-1 draw last week, and Arsenal leading at the break via that goal from Bukayo Saka right before the half. It was Trossard's shot that was saved by Jan Oblak that rebounded into the path of the Arsenal winger, who was in the right place at the right time to pounce upon the loose ball and give the Gunners the lead. And what a huge goal it was. And we talk a lot about the perfect time to score a goal. Right before half-time is a killer. Atleti have a completely different game, team talk now at half-time, because half-time, 0-0, they're going in going, yeah, great, we've kept a clean sheet, we're keeping them at bay, maybe go out and maybe have a bit more of a go in the second half. Now they've no choice but to have a go, because they're 1-0 down. Now, albeit they won't go all out attack because you don't want to lose the game. It's not lost at 1-0, but it makes it more difficult for Atletico Madrid. But they, in little glimpses, have shown where they can threaten. And it's certainly when Griezmann and Alvarez are a little bit kind of unknown in the game. The ball goes wide, they kind of interchange in and around the middle, pick up these little pockets, and we've seen on the probably two best chances that Atleti have had in that first half basically came from the ball going wide, either Alvarez or Griezmann picking up around the edge of the box and making something happen. And that is where Atleti can be dangerous, and that's where Arsenal need to make sure that they don't get the ball in those dangerous areas in the second half, because they will cause you problems, and when they need a goal, they're not going to go out without a fight, Atleti. We certainly know that for nothing. So this is game is far from over, but certainly Bukayo Saka with a wonderful goal, albeit a rebounded shot. But they all count, and it is his first goal at the Emirates in the Champions League since a 2-0 win over Olympiacos back on the 1st of October in a 2-0 victory. And the last time he scored in the knockouts in the Champions League was against PSG in Paris, 2-1 in the second leg, and he scored the only Arsenal goal. It was a late consolation in the game for the Gunners against PSG. That was the last time he scored in the knockouts. His last knockout goal here at the Emirates was against Bayern back in 2024 in a 2-2 draw. So he pops up in the big ones, does Bukayo Saka. Let's hope this time it's a big one in the right direction for Arsenal at this stage of the season. And as I said, they're 45 minutes away from a first Champions League final in 21 years. And that is really, it's as close as they've got. It certainly is. I mean, at no point were they in this situation last season. They went 1-0 down here in the first leg against PSG, and then they lost the second leg 2-1, so at no point were they ahead in their tie last season in the semi-finals. They now lead for the second time in this tie across the two legs so far, and with 45 minutes to go at least, they are leading by a goal to nil and 2-1 on aggregate, and that is a huge moment. I mentioned something before half-time, by the way, about the last time Arsenal were in a Champions League final. Their only ever visit to the Champions League final was in 2005. Bukayo Saka was 3 years old when that happened. 3 years old, and he has probably scored the goal that might just deliver Arsenal a chance to go back to the Champions League final. Two and a bit decades on. Unbelievable. Well, they're only halfway there. It's his third goal involvement in his last two games, so he's certainly on fire at the moment, Bukayo Saka. But Atleti can show fight back. We know that. We've seen it before. We saw it last week. They were outnumbered, outdone in the first half last week in Madrid. They come out in the second half and probably should have won the game last week in Madrid, if we're being brutally honest, of how well Atletico Madrid played and how many problems they caused Arsenal in that second half. They really should have been out of sight, Atleti. But they're going to have to show one hell of a fighting spirit in the second half if they are to progress from this one tonight. Remember, they have never beaten Arsenal away from home. So that is a record that Arsenal hold. In the two previous trips to the Emirates, they drew 1-1 and 4-0 a defeat. for Atleti, so not a good record away from home against Arsenal. But we'll see if they can turn it around in the second half. The second half between Arsenal and Atletico Madrid is on the way very shortly.
Remember, you don't get it twice. The time of your life.
Welcome back to Champions League Live. Half-time at the Emirates. It's Arsenal 1, Atletico Madrid 0 on the night. 2-1 on aggregate to Arsenal. And they are halfway to the Champions League final. But who will be the victors on the other side of the brackets? We'll find out tomorrow night in what has been was a blockbuster last week, a 9-goal thriller in Paris. But what will unfold in Munich tomorrow night? Bayern taking on PSG after a 5-4 aggregate victory for the Parisians, and the reigning European champions looking to go back-to-back, which would be one hell of a feat for Luis Enrique's side. That's tomorrow, 8 o'clock on LFS. And of course, we will know our first finalist, at least you would expect, within an hour. But who knows, it could go longer than that, of course, extra time and penalties if necessary. And remember, Arsenal were last in a Champions League final back in 2006. They lost to Barcelona 2-1. Could the era of Henry and co be now seeing the new era at Arsenal of Saka and co in the Champions League final? We'll find out very, very shortly. We're about to get underway for the second half. But they have a job still to do, the Gunners. Don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on push notifications if you haven't done so already. That would be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much to everybody joining us for this one tonight. So far, so good. But what has the second half got in store? Is there more twists and turns? You would expect so. And what has Diego Simeone got up his sleeve for the second half? That's what I'd be asking. It'll all come down to which manager just finds that little edge, because ultimately that's what it's come down to. Is there another little glimmer? Of course, Arsenal kicking from right to left in the second half. Can Atleti find a way back? Diego Simeone watches on from his seat on the away bench. What is he thinking? What has he conjured up at half-time? One of the great tacticians in European football, Diego Simeone. What has his mind conjured up in that 15-minute interval to try and catapult his team back into this game and trying to fight back against one of the best defensive sides in Europe? An Arsenal side that have kept the most clean sheets in the Champions League this season, and a lot of the teams in the, I think, since 2018, the winners of the Champions League have all been one of the best defensive sides in Europe. certainly on clean sheets in the competition. They're either first or second, the eventual winners. Well, Arsenal lead the way on that front. Could that be what gets them over the line to another final? Ruggieri here to Lookman. Onto his right foot, cuts it inside for Alvarez, who drops a little deeper, links it up here. Ball swung to the back post. Lookman was trying to head it, as was Griezmann in there. And Arsenal scramble it away, a danger. The battle with Llorente there. That's going to be a free kick as Gyökeres went down. Yeah, really nicely done there by Victor Gyökeres. It's actually Robin Lenormand that commits the challenge. His physicality's been really good tonight, Victor Gyökeres. He's held the ball up really, really well from the very first minute of the game. Absolutely excellent. Key information, no changes at half-time, by the way, for either team, so it's as you were. Atleti now on a 3-game unbeaten run. Coming into tonight's game, 2 wins and a draw from the last 3 games, including that first leg against the Gunners. 3-2 win over Athletic Club, followed up by a 2-0 victory away at Valencia at the weekends. But it's a very different looking Atleti side. This is the starting 11 from the weekend. Musso, Binar, Longley, Diaz, Lenormand, Molina, Mendoza, Marcelo, Vargas, Almada and Belaid. Only one of the 11 that played at the weekend is in the starting 11 tonight. That is Robin Lenormand at centre-back. And that is a complete change of all 11 players from the first leg. None of those players that played at the weekend started last week in Madrid. Talk about changing your whole team to rest the players for this game. We saw PSG do it at the weekend, Bayern do it at the weekend. Arsenal going for an unorthodox approach of, yeah, let's not. I mean, it's the whole old adage of, you know, why try and fix what's not broken, in the sense. 3-0 winners against Fulham, comfortable victory for the Gunners. Well, why try and change that? And they haven't. As Rice plays a lovely ball here to Trossard, who tries to spin his way past Llorente and is tugged down as he tried to spin. That's going to be a free kick. And it wasn't the pull by Llorente, it's a pull. Was it by Llorente? It was, actually. By Llorente. Yeah. Lazy defending, in my opinion. I mean, he just knows he's getting nowhere near Trossard, and he just kind of drags the back of his shirt down. Free kick here to Arsenal. Of course, as you would expect, Declan Rice is over it. Tries to find a target in the mix. What have they got conjured up here? They've gone short here, Arsenal. No, Skelly spun it to the right hand side. Here's Saka on the touchline. Finds it to White. He's going to swing one in. And there's collisions in the box. The referee sees no issue as Griezmann's there to clear for Atleti. Rice heads it forward, flicked on by Saliba, and that one's a little bit wayward. Goes out for an Atletico Madrid throw-in. Yeah, worked the angle there, Arsenal. As White swung it in from the right-hand side. Gabriel kind of just slipped up against Robin Lenormand. There's nothing in it. It's not a foul by any stretch. And referee played on correctly. Hanshko finds Ruggieri out on this left-hand side. Swings it to the edge of the box. That one curls away, though, from Simeone. Trossard pounced upon, but Ruggieri, or sorry, not Ruggieri, Pubil couldn't retrieve possession. This game continuing in the similar fashion of the first half. Very little between the two sides. It's actually Atleti have had much more of the possession in the second half. Arsenal had almost 70% in the first. Atleti have had over 70% in the second half so far. So that is a major swing. Oh, that's a poor defensive header. He's got round the goalkeeper. It's an empty net. And what a defensive challenge. Simeone claiming that it was pulled down. Referee's given a corner, but an empty net for Giuliano Simeone, who cannot believe that it's just been given as a corner. Well, look at this. It's a long ball over the top, and it's a defensive error from Saliba. Just tries to flick it back to Raya, but Simeone sneaks in behind. Raya was coming for it. He gets beaten past. So we see it here. Simeone collided with by Gabriel. He just tries to battle, and as he doesn't get any contact to it, Simeone, on the ball. And there's not much contact, really. He just kind of loses his footing. Yeah, there's nothing really in that. Simeone, don't think there's much of a claim there. Ball swung in from the corner. Flapped away by Raya. Shot from range is high and wide from Pubil. Well, that is a massive chance. I have to say, a massive, massive chance for Atletico Madrid. It's not often you ever get gifted an opportunity against Arsenal. It's not often they give you a chance. And that was a huge one for Giuliano Simeone. As we see a replay of the Arsenal opener in the first half. They tried the long ball all night, Atletico Madrid, without much success, but they've persevered. And I don't think they'll stop persevering, because they've just had a glimmer of what can happen if Arsenal don't time it right. And Atleti do. Throw in here for Arsenal. Calafiori. Still a raucous atmosphere inside the Emirates Stadium. Crowd that have been dreaming of this moment, dreaming of this night. They're not there yet. Here's Llorente. Lovely ball finding Griezmann in the half space, who plays a reverse pass towards Lookman. Great challenge by White. One back though by Simeone, and Llorente tries to cut back on himself, but Trossard's there to intercept. And Gabriel can thump it clear. Really strong again from Arsenal. There's a collision there between Gyökeres and Lenormand. And Koke picks up here for Atletico Madrid. Certainly had the second half momentum, the visitors. Certainly had more of a push for the equaliser. Lenormand down the right channel finds Pubil, but has to come all the way back here to Atletico's centre-backs. That's a nice first touch inside here by Ruggieri. Griezmann, a little bit loose, and he slips as he tries to recover, and Rice is breaking away for Arsenal, charging through the middle. No one challenging him at the moment as he rolls it to Gyökeres. Shot was blocked. And look at the space that's gaping in the middle. Picked up by Griezmann. And they charge forward in numbers there, Arsenal. Rice. I mean, like a Rolls Royce striding forward there. Untouchable. Simeone feeds one in behind. Pubil made the undercutting run, but the cut back across was a little bit wayward towards Griezmann. And Arsenal worked themselves out of that little wrinkle with Trossard finding Calafiori on the underlap. Calafiori down the left. He's got Gyökeres further ahead of him. Plays that pass down the left channel. Gyökeres skips away from Lenormand, finds Calafiori in the box. This could be another big chance for Arsenal, but stepped in at the right time was Koke to make the challenge. Simeone. Alvarez, it is really tense. Fine margins in this game. It is tantalisingly edgy. Nice work from Griezmann. Finds Alvarez, who come very deep, those two. The ball here wide to Pubil. Little 1-2 with Griezmann. Griezmann's going to shoot. Raya! And the rebound blocked, but Griezmann still got it as he was brought down. And it's going to be a free kick to Arsenal. they feel that that was a bit of a dive there from Antoine Griezmann. See the shot here from Griezmann initially. Well saved by Raya down to his left, and the rebound trying to find Pubil. Great challenge by Gabriel. Oh, and Calafiori did catch. He did catch Griezmann there. They are checking for a possible penalty. I do apologise to Antoine Griezmann. I said he dived. He definitely didn't. There was contact from Calafiori. We've already seen penalty drama in this tie already. 2 last week. Well, Griezmann here, he stretched for the ball. Calafiori's late. He catches Griezmann's left foot. It looked a little soft ultimately, but I think the referee was given a free kick for Arsenal anyway, but because of a foul prior to that. And Gabriel was fouled, they deemed, while Pubil was trying to find a chance from the rebound. So ultimately, no penalty, because there was a foul in the build-up to the incident in Arsenal's favour. And that's going to trigger a triple change from Diego Simeone. Molina, Sorloth and Cardoso are all on. And what I do know is Giuliano Simeone and Ademola Lookman have gone off for the moment. We'll confirm the other one in a moment. But here come Arsenal changes. Piero Nkapie and Noni Madueke are coming on. They're going to replace Ricardo Calafiori. And on top of that, Bere Eze. So Eze and Calafiori off, replaced by Madueke and Nkapie. And it looks like Ødegaard's ready to come on as well. So there might be 3 changes here in one go for Arsenal. And Bukayo Saka is the one that's going to come off for Ødegaard. So have we seen the man with a winning moment already tonight? Bukayo Saka, the one to pounce upon the Yano Black save that was parried into the wrong area, but in the right area for Arsenal. And Saka there to strike at home. Standing ovation as you would expect from the home crowd, and hands over the armband to Martin Ødegaard. So a triple Arsenal change on the back of a triple Atletico Madrid change. So both sides electing to go to the bench for some reinforcements. A reminder of those changes, by the way, from Atleti. Molina, Sorloth and Cardoso all on for Lookman, Simeone and Robin Lenormand. That triple change. And for Arsenal, Calafiori, Saka and Eze all off. And Nkapie, Madueke and Ødegaard all replacements. So 6 changes in the space of 2 minutes, 3 for each team. What has the next 31.5 minutes got? With these players on the field, what impact can the subs have? As Cardoso a little bit too aggressive there on Miles Lewis-Skelly, trying to win the ball. Gives away the free kick. Ødegaard, first involvement. Gyökeres to White. White it goes to Noni Madueke. Back to White, who flicks it back here. Martin Ødegaard couldn't keep the shot down, just over the crossbar by the Norwegian. His first real attack and involvement. Swung it with his left foot, trying to find the far corner. Just comes back on himself, and it just over the crossbar it goes. Dangerous chance though, right from the off for Ødegaard. So Black lifts up the field. Sorloth trying to go for the hold up. Couldn't keep a hold of the ball, as that's nicely done by Trossard and Ødegaard. A bit more control you would expect from Arsenal with these changes. Nice. Ping one over the top, looking for the run of Gyökeres. Oh, Black was there in a dangerous position, but he committed himself well. And ultimately, Gyökeres gives away the foul on the Atletico Madrid goalkeeper. So a free kick here for the visitors. Gyökeres not too happy with that decision, but you wouldn't expect him to be happy with that. It's not a major surprise. Well, Arsenal are unbeaten in the last 8 games against Spanish teams in the Champions League. They've won 7, drawn once. Only one team has gone more consecutive games against Spanish opposition without losing in the competition, and that was Chelsea when they went 16 games unbeaten between March 06 and April 2014. Here's Griezmann, pokes it through the lines. No way through there for Sorloth, but it's back with Llorente. Molina, now Koke. Back wide to Nahil Molina. And now Pubil, who's gone to centre-back, of course, where he played last week. With Lenormand now off, they just interchange. And forced back there was David Hansko to his goalkeeper. Well, Arsenal, over the course of the 61 minutes we played, they've had 60% of the ball to Atleti's 40. 9 shots to Atleti's 6. 2 on target to Atletico Madrid's 1. XG of 1.03 for Arsenal, 0.42 from Atletico Madrid, so certainly created the better of the chances, Arsenal. A more dangerous looking team, but that always doesn't always translate. XG to goals. Gyökeres there, tussling and bustling with Pubil, who wins the tackle. The referee didn't see an issue with the challenge, but Mikel Arteta and Victor Gyökeres very frustrated that a foul wasn't given there, but I think it's strong, confident defending by Pubil. I don't think there's much wrong there, in my opinion. Yeah, it's really strong. Just strong defending by Marc Pubil. It's not a foul. And Capier throw in down the line, and Gyökeres hit it off Pubil, and then it can back off Gyökeres. So a Atleti throw in here. Llorente launched down the channel. Sorloth laid it off there to Koke. Oh, a little loose mistake by Arsenal. Nice Alvarez to retrieve, and now Ruggieri down the left. Has to come back to Cardoso into Julian Alvarez. More of a creator rather than the striker at the minute in this second half. Llorente, that lay off with Molina, back to Llorente. Run into Declan Rice, who was in his way, but Trossard being pressured and gets rid of the ball there. Leandro Trossard under major pressure. They are looking more threatening, Atletico Madrid, but have not been able to have that cutting edge in the final third just yet. And it looks like there's going to be one more change in coming for the moment. Alex Baena, who came on last week for Atletico, he's going to be coming on here. And they have outperformed Arsenal in the second half. Atletico Madrid over 70% of the ball, 5 shots to Arsenal's 2. Created the only big chance really of the half and the only shot on target of the second half, the visitors. So there has been progression in the right direction for them, but not enough to find a leveler so far. Here's Antoine Griezmann with this free kick before that sub is made. It might be his last action of the game, Antoine Griezmann. We hear that he might be the one that's coming off in a moment. Griezmann swung it in with his left boot, headed away. Cleared only as far as Cardoso. Now Alvarez. Here's Marcos Llorente. Down the right hand side for Pubil. And that's spun all the way back to Koke. Not much room there for Atletico. That's a lovely ball through the lines this time. Alvarez going for the deep cross. Too close to David Raya. That's pretty simple gather. Just haven't had that cutting edge danger in the final third. We haven't really seen Alvarez or Griezmann in a dangerous attacking position in the second half, like we did on the rare occasion in the first, with Atleti's best chances. Maybe Griezmann with the shot, but other than that, not seen much since. It is, I mean, it's no easy task to try and find a goal against Arsenal. The best defensive side in the Champions League this season. I think if I'm not mistaken, only 6 goals they've conceded. That includes the goal they have conceded in the tie so far. Llorente beaten there. Swung in by Nkapie. Gyökeres! What a huge chance. Can't keep the shot down. Couldn't get it on target, but that would have been a massive killer of a goal to Atleti's confidence and a chance of a fight back. That would have been perfect for Arsenal. Great ball down the line by Trossard, and Capio on the underlap. Swung it in really early. Great cross in, and Gyökeres, right place, right time again. Perfect positioning. But the finish, he just kind of takes it on the half volley, and it just airs it over the crossbar. That should be 2-0. That really should be daylight for Arsenal in the tie. Massively. A major warning sign to Atletico Madrid, as Antoine Griezmann and Julian Alvarez have both been taken off here by Alex Baena and Thiago Almada. So that's Atleti's changes done and dusted. And the two that started up front have both been replaced. So attacking changes again from Diego Simeone, but no choice really to make attacking changes now. He has to. 1-0 down. 23.5 minutes to go. Only takes one moment. Okay, industrious as always, but again, too physical that occasion. And Miles Lewis Skelly winning another free kick. He's done a wonderful job, I have to say, in midfield tonight, Miles Lewis Skelly. I mean, for the 19-year-old to be playing in midfield in a Champions League semi-final, a major kind of vote of confidence from Mikel Arteta in the youngster. Starting him in the Premier League at the weekend in midfield and doing so. I mean, it's a different level playing against Fulham in midfield. No disrespect to Fulham, but it's a very different level playing against Fulham to playing in the Champions League semi-final. And Miles Lewis Skelly's, I mean, taken to it like a duck to water. It's an absolutely fantastic performance from him tonight. That's a lovely ball through by Lewis Skelly. Oh, just wasn't quick enough to get there, Trossard. Really beautifully played ball. Maybe just a little bit too much on it, but perfect idea. Okay. Llorente down the right channel. Molina, little flick. Sorloth holding it up. Brought down there, Alexander Sorloth. The referee said no foul as Trossard picks up. He's forced back towards Declan Rice, but remember, Arsenal only need to manage the game now. Hold on to this lead and you're in a Champions League final. It's that simple. I say that. Gabriel through the lines. Lewis Skelly, first time to Nkapie. Lewis Skelly back to Trossard. Down the line to Nkapie. Trying to see his way past Pubil, who just got in the way of the man. Just got his body in the way of the man and ball. Again, really strong defending. The fluidity of which Arsenal's passing. Oh, that's a terrible ball across. What's that? White with his shot. Probably should have passed it rather. Ben White from that sort of range. It's a terrible ball. I mean, this is one hell of a risky pass. I mean, what are you doing there? I don't know if it's Molina or Pubil, one of the two, but it's an awful ball across the midfield. Well, Arsenal, this crowd, absolutely all over this at the minute. They're loving every single second of this. It's far from nervy from Arsenal, I have to say. It's not a nervy performance at the minute. They're playing with such bravado, such confidence, such this kind of real air of bossing this game in every area. And Atleti, I mean, aren't down and out yet, but Arsenal are making it really incredibly difficult for them to try and find a way back into it. Their balance between pressing and being so compact is absolutely fabulous, Arsenal. Here's Llorente. Pings one into the area. Oh, not a great header by Gabriel, but he's helped out by a very alert goalkeeper in David Rea behind him. Last 20 minutes then. Arsenal 1, Atletico Madrid 0. 2-1 to Arsenal on aggregate. Bukayo Saka's goal right on the verge of half-time is the difference going into the final 20 minutes. Our Arsenal 20 minutes away from a Champions League final. Or will Atleti have one fight as they win a corner here? Gyökeres battling and wins the corner. Every time they win a corner or a throw-in or a great tackle, the crowd have roared their team on right the way throughout this game. They feel it. They know they are tantalisingly close. If they get a second, it's surely game over, but at 1-0, anything can still happen. That's the nature of it. But is there an opportunity that add a little bit of daylight in this one for Arsenal? A priceless second goal, you would feel. Corner, left hand side. Rice delivers in. Headed away by Sorloth. Picked up by Madueke. Fending off challenges. Madueke from the byline cuts it across. That's deflected. It went straight behind. Madueke said it was deflected. Goal kick was given. Zubamendi is ready and waiting to enter the fray here for Arsenal. More defensive and midfield control. Diego Simeone trying to amp up his team. There's a player down for the moment, so Lenny wanted to get the game back underway, but Miles Lewis-Skelly has gone down. Tactical or not, they have to check up on him. Remember, we'll see how he fares here after the checkup from the physio. I'm sure the referee will have stopped his watch to make sure there is no time wasting, but well, a very nervy looking Atletico Madrid end. This side can still snatch something here. They're still in it, there's no doubt, but Arsenal, you feel, have got all the momentum they need, all the belief and confidence that is emanating around this stadium. Two very happy parents of Miles Lewis-Skelly there in the crowd. And his semi-final, his performance is over tonight. Zubamendi's on for him. What a fabulous performance from Miles Lewis-Skelly again. Fabulous. Incredible in that midfield. So Zubamendi on in his place. .5 minutes to go as the clock gets ever closer. This stadium goes up another 10 octaves, another 10 decibels, 20 decibels louder. The excitement builds, the anticipation grows, and the sheer joy is ready to have a full and utter outpouring around this stadium. But they're not there yet. Koke spins one to the left hand side. Here's Baina. Off that left, he's going to try and swing one in. It's blocked, put behind for the corner by Ben White. It's a bit of an outball that they've needed in this second half, Atletico Madrid. It's only their second corner of the game, and at the end of which their fans are on this side of the Emirates. A corner on the left, swung into the area, up and headed away by Rice. Llorente trying to battle on the edge of the box. So he recycles it back to Molina. Swung wide to the left for Baina. Right-footed delivery flicked on by Hansko, away from Sorloth. As Gabriel went down under the challenge. That's going to be a free kick. Look at that from Diego Simeone. I mean, he is as animated as anything down there. Absolutely going nuts. And it's the exact opposite of the other dugout. calm and composure from Mikel Arteta. It's not usually him. It's not usually calm and composed from Mikel Arteta. He's usually doing the same thing that Simeone's doing. And he's calling for calm from his players. Have they got the composure? Here's Gyökeres, who holds on to the ball well, and shot from range there, well off target, but worth a shot from that sort of position. You never know. Gyökeres has played an incredible part tonight, albeit not in terms of goal scoring, not in terms of shot chances, attacking opportunities, but its physicality. It's just the sheer kind of presence of Victor Gyökeres on the field tonight has massively helped Arsenal to really not allow Atletico to settle with that defence. It's always caused a bit of a problem, made him a bit of a nuisance of himself, the Atleti players. Oh, Raya comes out of his goal area there a little bit. And that ball through the middle was a little bit loose. Here's Almada. That is Ruggieri, back to Thiago Almada. And Baena. What have they got in store here, Atleti? Ball down the left-hand side. Here's Thiago Almada. Onto the right foot. Spun in towards Sorloth. But again, David Raya commanding his area. As Gabriel's gone down, holding the back of his head. Maybe the way he's landed has hurt him here. He was in the clash with Sorloth and David Raya. Oh, his own goalkeeper whacked him in the head there. So Raya came and claimed for it. Kind of the knee of Raya just clattered the back of Gabriel's head. Well, there's the man on the bench whose goal might have made the difference tonight. Might just make the difference. What has been a tight, closely fought game. One key moment that sent this stadium into raptures and might just send Arsenal into a Champions League final. That is how incredibly close they are. Beautiful tick down here. Here's Madueke. Go and add a little bit of added extra to that. Ruggieri couldn't. Made the block, sorry. Madueke couldn't get past the Atleti defender on that occasion. But they couldn't get up the field, Atleti. That's their problem at the minute. They cannot lay a glove on Arsenal at the minute. Defence, in terms of Arsenal's defence, not really been tested too much recently. Gyökeres closed out there. Ruggieri runs it back. Almada a bit loose on the reverse, and Ruggieri lost it. Here's Madueke. He got a little bit too blasé about that, and Thiago Almada just about kept that one in play, but he's at his own left back position here. Given away. Trossard with the cross, blocked and chested back to Jan Oblak. Well, Arsenal's press is fabulous. It's Oblak tried to play it right directly through for Sorloth. That was cut out by Saliba. And it's Arsenal with the attacking momentum at the minute. Can you believe? Atleti, who need the goal, cannot seem to find the ability to do so. Zubimendi wins it back. Madueke to Martin Odegaard. Down the line it goes. Wide at the byline. Cuts it back across. And Oblak was there to claim. I think both goalkeepers have done really well tonight, albeit Oblak's save. So unfortunate that it rebounded into Saka's path, but sometimes the difference, as I said earlier in the game, the fine margins in these really tight affairs. That's a ball out to the left channel for Alexander Sorloth. Up against Saliba, takes him on, trying the cross, runs into trouble, but he has it there. Sorloth lays it back to Almada. Into the box it comes, cleared away. Trossard, and then hooked up the field by Arsenal, but only as far as the edge of the centre circle in their own half. Just over 10 minutes to go. Here's Marcus Llorente. Swung in with the right foot. Away by Gabriel. Bit of Atleti pressure here. Here is Almada. Molina skips away from a challenge. Feeds it down the line. Llorente clips it across. Too high for Raya, but no one round the back. And White clears. And Weki lost in his battle. Atleti have a bit of momentum here. Baena. Sorlot's a little flick. Llorente. Right down the throat of David Rea. Better from Atletico Madrid. Very aggressive there to win the ball back with Jerry. They work it really well. Koke. Little flick by Sorlot. And it drops for Llorente at the back post. Edge of the box. Just couldn't put enough venom on the shot to beat past the goalkeeper. And that's going to be a foul. And it's going to be a yellow card as well for Pubil up against Gyökeres. Yeah, Pubil gets spun by Gyökeres. And he just keeps a hold of the Arsenal centre forward. Drags him down. That's a free kick and a yellow card. And he's a bit fortunate there, Pubil, to be let off with just a yellow. And a yellow card is the decision. And they are checking for a possible red, VAR, so we might yet see a change of decision. And they've quickly checked and cleared it. So yellow card will stand. Right, 8.5 minutes. Arsenal free kick. Deep in the Atleti half. Look at Diego Simeone. I love these shots. You can't get enough of this. I mean, he's literally on the field. It's a surprise he hasn't got a yellow card for being so far out of his technical area tonight. Incredible. Incredible. Martin Odegaard and Declan Rice are over this Arsenal free kick. Odegaard is over this set piece. The crowd are jubilant. Swung in with the left foot. The header over the crossbar from Saliba. Kind of ballooned off the head of the defender there. Daniel says whoever wins tomorrow wins the whole thing. This game is somewhat irrelevant. Well, I wouldn't go that far, but I take your point. The winner is from tomorrow's tie. We kind of do feel that, but you never know. Champions League is a weird way of proving us wrong. Leandro Trossard is going to be replaced here by Gabriel Martinelli. So some fresh attacking legs for Arsenal. Their fifth and final change of the game. Trossard's shot that ultimately led to the rebound and the goal. Ruggieri got too calm with that. Give it away to Madueke here. Arsenal are in again. Madueke to Odegaard. No way through past Koke. And bowled out by Oblak to his left back again. Here is David Hanschke. Mark Pubil. Marcus Llorente. On the right hand side. Closed out by Nkapie, that ball. And Gabriel rolls it back to his goalie in David Rea, who absolutely thumps that one up the field towards Gyökeres. He couldn't keep control of the possession, but the press from Martinelli and the chase for the ball, and Atleti have a throw in very deep in their own half. Tears streaming. Well, I'm sure tears of joy, of disbelief. It's a rare moment, but it is a moment they will treasure for many years to come if it gets done and dusted here tonight. Marcus Llorente blocking that one behind for an Arsenal corner. Mikel Arteta is on the verge of probably his best moment in his managerial career as the Arsenal boss. These Arsenal players probably in the verge of the best moment of their playing careers. That is what's at stake in the final 5 minutes of normal time. Hands clasped together in prayer. Scarves over mouths. In nervous tension. Rice to deliver this corner. Swung in with the right foot, deep to the back post. Gabriel was there, but he couldn't get the clean connection to the ball. Bobbles behind for a goal kick. Yeah, great delivery, great idea. Again, just strong by the Atleti defence to see off Gabriel at the back post. Sorloth chesting it, trying to find a runner, but Zubamendi there to make the block and hook it up the field. I mean, Pubil has to be very careful, but he measured that one just about well enough. Hanchko clips it forward. That's a nice opportunity. Here's Alex Baena. Baena got it back for Sorloth, who miskicked it. Still got it here in the box. Trying to do keepy-ups in the area. And that's half cleared by Arsenal. Now Odegaard. Calmness there. And thumped up the field once more by Arsenal. Anywhere will do. It's getting to that type of situation now. Llorente. Back to Oblak, who again lumps one. Rice wins the header. Odegaard in the battle, but Atleti just about clambering to the ball. Koke with the possession in his own half. Waiting for the right opportunity, but has to go back to his goalkeeper, who again goes long. And Sorloth very naively there shoves into the back of Gabriel and gives away a very cheap foul. Well, he's tried to impose himself, Alexander Sorloth, but this just miskicks it. Great move by Alex Baena. Great ball in, and Alexander Sorloth on the end of it just miskicks the ball onto his other leg, and maybe that's the chance. It's not the most memorable of chances. You always see these major moments at the final whistle, or the last dying embers for teams to win it or to steal something, but it's not a memorable one, but certainly one that will haunt them. That was the last chance for Atletico Madrid. Short of 3 minutes to go. That's a lovely touch by Sorloth. Nicely held up by Molina. Oh, Sorloth laying it off to Baena. Baena looking for the switch. Looking for Thiago Almada. Takes it down really well. On the right flank. Steps inside. Llorente couldn't get on the end of it. Molina was the man playing it through. So Teta calls for a press here against Pubil and Oblak. They're giving it all they've got at the minute, Atletico. But Arsenal have been fighting from minute one, and they're not about to give up the fight now. This is an incredible moment. I mean, this is magical moments about to unfold here, if this stays as it is. Here's Llorente around the corner for Molina, who lays it up back to Almada. Now Koke. Arsenal have dropped deep. Atleti with all the pressure now, but can they find the key goal that keeps them in the tie? Remember, if it ends up level, extra time and penalties. Shot from range. Over the crossbar by Alex Baena. He has made a difference, Alex Baena, since coming onto the field, along with Thiago Almada, but not on that occasion. Daniel says, what do you think happens to Atletico when Simeone leaves? He has had the impact to keep them at the standard he brought them to. Or will they fall back to how it used to be? Well, I don't think it'll be how it used to be, but I mean, it's one hell of a tough job to follow. It's a terrible position the next manager at Atleti will be in. You have to say. You have to follow the act of Diego Simeone. Here's Martin Odegaard. Here's Gabriel Martinelli. Back to Odegaard. Arsenal with a chance here. Llorente with the block. Cleared away by Pubil, up towards Sorloth. Holding off the battling of Gabriel there. And Gabriel entangling himself with Sorloth and giving away the foul there. That's going to be an Atletico Madrid free kick. Deep in own half. Well, the 90 minutes is up. It's added time. that will impact, and we will have 5 minutes. So they know now, Arsenal, they are just 5 minutes away from a Champions League final. As close as they've been in 2 decades to Europe's biggest game. That's a lovely ball in behind towards Gyökeres again. He's made an absolute nuisance of himself. He's been fantastic, Victor Gyökeres. They have barely been able to cope with him tonight, Atletico. They will have the throw in here, Arsenal, and Nketiah not in a hurry to get the ball back in play. Of course, Simeone protests to the time wasting, but well, I mean, you look at some of those fans and you look and think, I mean, they weren't born the last time Arsenal were in a Champions League final. A lot of them barely remember it, if they do. It's a new generation seeing a new team reach a feat that Arsenal have only reached once before. Would have only reached once before. They're now looking to do it for the second time. The first time in this era under Mikel Arteta. Goal kick there. That's fabulous. That's another big moment. It's quite contrasting to the emotion that rings around the majority of this stadium. It is pain, heartache, sadness in much for those Atleti fans at the moment. Unless their team can pull off something magical in the final 3 minutes, this stadium is going to be bouncing for a long time yet. They're going nowhere, these Arsenal fans. They are going absolutely nowhere, and who can blame them? Long kick up the field by Raya. Little header there by Zubamendi. Llorente threw himself at that one. Sorlots down the left. That's a challenge by Nketiah. He sees it out for the throw as Arteta tries to shield the ball. I mean, he's running up and down the touchline here, Mikel Arteta. Incredible. Long launch by Llorente, and Sorlot's header. No one beyond him. Oh, that's a poor clearance. Koke trying to get on the end of it, but it's hooked clear by Nketiah. Gyökeres again being tugged at. That's going to be an Arsenal free kick. And the clock continues to dwindle away. Time running out massively for Atletico Madrid. I have to say, Victor Gyökeres, I mean, every Arsenal player to a man has been sensational tonight. They've all played their part. There's never just one player that plays their part in these type of games. They all have to do it, and they have tonight, Arsenal. They've all played their part. A minute and a half. That's all that's left. Arsenal with a free kick right on the halfway line. Rice down towards the corner flag. That will be an Atletico Madrid throw right away. So maybe one last chance for Atleti. They need to get it moving quickly and up the field in double quick time. Long ball over the top. Oh, not a great header as the rain comes down. Sorloth trying to make himself a battler. Llorente with a hoof ball into the middle of the pitch. White with the header. Ruggieri with a reverse pass. Sent packing by Saliba with the clearance. And a bouncing ball out of play for the throw. Oh, and it's got a bit boiled over in the sidelines there as Koke got a little shove on Martinelli, but it's in the rush to try and take the throw in that's maybe seen that. The referee is having to settle some high-rising emotions. A couple of yellows coming out there. Koke and I think Calafiori got a yellow, who's on the bench. Got involved in it there. All the tension, all the emotions boiling over there all of a sudden. Seconds now away. They can count them on their fingers how close they are. They're waving it over. It's all kicking off down the sidelines now. Simeone got in the mix. I mean, it's been bubbling under the whole way throughout the night. Calafiori's still in the mix here. He's taking his coat off and he's really having a good go. All the bench are up. They're waiting for their moment to go nuts. Surely that can't be long away now. Long throw down the line. Lots of bodies in the mix. There it is! The final whistle goes. And Arsenal are into only their second ever Champions League final. Their first since 2006. And Mikel Arteta dared to dream. And their dream has come true. Arsenal are into a Champions League final. What a performance. What a fight. What a battle. And they had their key moment with Bukayo Saka pouncing at the right moment, at the right time to make the difference. The Gunners have certainly worked for this, fought for this over the last 2 seasons. They were so heartbroken when they were lost in this semi-final last season. Well, this season they fought hard in Madrid and they fought hard at the Emirates tonight. The atmosphere incredible and a team that truly deserves this moment. So many moments where it hasn't gone their way over the last number of seasons when they've just fallen at the final hurdle. Well, now they have a chance to do what no Arsenal team has ever done before, and that is lift the European Cup. It doesn't come around very often, but when it does, you have to grasp it with both hands, and I'm sure Mikel Arteta and his team will surely try and do that. There it is, confirmation. Arsenal are a Champions League finalist for only the second time ever, and for the first time in 20 years. Book your tickets to Budapest, because Arsenal are on the way to the Puskás Arena, and they will travel in their numbers. A once-in-a-generation moment. They don't want it to be that here, but 2 decades in waiting, and there it is. They're into the final, Arsenal. Either PSG or Bayern will await them. Whoever it will be, we'll find out tomorrow night. But there's no doubt, North London is red, and North London and Arsenal are being represented in a Champions League final for the first time since 2006. All the way back then, it was against Barcelona. I said earlier on, it was the team of Sol Campbell, of Thierry Henry, Freddie Ljungberg. But this is a very different team. Mikel Arteta's side, he's built up all on his own over the last 6 years, and it has all come to this crescendo. Is this the magical end to the season that Arsenal have been dreaming of since Mikel Arteta took charge? Is this what he's been building? And is it all going to come to a massive finale at the end of the month in Budapest? Unbelievable. They will celebrate long into the night, and as I said earlier, who can blame them? These Arsenal fans have had to go through some turmoil in the last 20 years, in the last 10 years really, seeing their club not reach this competition, not be in this competition. What was it, 7-8 years in a row? Well, the last 3 seasons they've got to the last 8 quarterfinals and 2 semi-final appearances, and now a chance to try and win this competition for the very first time in their history. It was PSG that did it last season for the very first time. Are we going to see another first time winner this season? Or will it be something different altogether? They won't care about that now. They will celebrate long into the night, those Arsenal fans. Players, manager is going nuts. And rightfully so. Bukayo Saka, who was just 3 years old the last time Arsenal were in a Champions League final, He and his goal has sent Arsenal through to the Champions League final. Final score at the Emirates. It's finished Arsenal 1, Atletico Madrid 0 on the night. Arsenal win by 2-1 on aggregates. And as I said, there's confirmation of one half of the Champions League final. And the date for your diary, Saturday the 30th of May, and a 5 o'clock UK kickoff time from the Puskás Arena in Budapest. But who will join Arsenal in the 2026 Champions League final? Will it be 6-time winners Bayern Munich or 1-time winners and reigning European champions Paris Saint-Germain? We'll find out tomorrow night for that. For now, Arsenal won't care who they face. All that matters is they're in a Champions League final. As I said, confirmation that the other finalists will be decided tomorrow night in our second semi-final. Bayern Munich at 4, PSG 5 from the first leg. But what will tomorrow unfold? Tomorrow, 8 o'clock on LFS. Bayern against PSG. But it is all Arsenal's night in North London. These fans have waited 2 decades for this moment, when they went all the way to the final and were undone by the mighty Barcelona back then. Well, Arsenal are on the verge now of possibly a Champions League and league double. What an end of the season that would be. They've got the leading charge in the Premier League and now they're into a Champions League final. This could turn out to be one of the best months in Arsenal's history, and we are just at the start. Thanks for your company for this one tonight. Bukayo Saka with the magic moment that sent Arsenal through to the Champions League final for the second time in their history and for the first time in 20 years. Thanks for your company. Night night.